We got the latest on Tony Romo this morning. Our Josina Anderson reporting that a Cowboys source told her that the Cowboys need to move on from Tony Romo. Now, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said he hasn't considered the possibility of Tony Romo playing for another NFC team because he just doesn't want to have to think about it. Here's more from Jerry.
It's no secret. I just think so much of him as a person, think so much of him as a player. This is what it is. It's a juncture that we have to address. You know, I don't know how ultimately we will resolve this, and nobody should be alarmed because you don't have all the answers. There's some issues here that you just have to see how the cards are played. The main thing about it is we will work through it.
So he also added, that bothers the heck out of me because I know wherever he goes, he's going to start. I know wherever he goes, he will compete absent injury. The question is, where will he land? Do you spot your franchise folks at home on the helmet of Tony Romo?
I see a Broncos logo in there.
Yeah, I see it too.
Okay.
I love that statement as we bring in Adam Kaplan and Tom Waddle from Jerry Jones. It kind of sounds like, it's like, I don't want to be with you, but I don't want anyone else to be with you.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
it's not you.
You're great, but just not
here. So, Adam, run down some likely spots for Tony Romo to land.
I think, Al, when you look at Tony Romo's situation, he wants to go somewhere, from talking to people, where he can win. He's not looking to sign with a team like come up with 1 or 2 win season. That, to him, at this stage of his career, he's only going to play a couple more years. It makes more sense for him to go to maybe a Houston, where Tom and I were just talking about this. Go somewhere where you can not only go to the playoffs. Think about if they had better, competent quarterback play. This team could have gone deep into the playoffs. So someone like that, somewhere where he could win right away. And the other thing is, does he go somewhere where he is the guy, where he just signs Michael, where he just goes in and I'm the guy? Because if he's not, if he's going there just to compete, that changes the contract parameters, the leverage that he would have. But if he goes to a Houston, to me, yeah, he may have to compete for it. Bottom line is, I think he wins that job if he goes to a team like Houston. But Tony will make that decision soon when the Cowboys release him. And I say that I don't see any way that he could come back on this contract, quite frankly. And again, he wants to go somewhere he can play. Dak Prescott is the guy in Dallas.
Yeah. Numbers aside and all of that, Tom, where should he go? Like, what is the best fit for Tony Romo?
Well, I think there are 3 teams, all teams that feel like they can win now. But those 3 teams, I think, rise above the others. And for me, it starts with the Denver Broncos. Now, John Elway has said he is not going to trade for Tony Romo. This would have to be a release and sign type of situation. They've also said in Denver that they like their young quarterbacks. How much they like them, we'll find out. That offensive line's an issue as well. If you bring in Tony Romo, you have to bolster the guys up front. I also think the Buffalo Bills is an interesting concept here. I think Sean McDermott will get that defense back to a top 10 defense. They obviously have a dynamic running back in LaShawn McCoy. I think they'll add a wide receiver in the draft. Sammy Watkins comes back. I think Houston is a good choice, as Adam said. Look, that team to me has been a very good football team, an above-average football team that's been held back by their quarterback play. Can they fit Tony Romo's salary into what they're doing from a cap standpoint? Because the money is already spent on Brock Osweiler. Do you just admit that you made a mistake, give the keys to Tony, and take a run? I think that is a spot where maybe Tony works best, and that's a team.
Wouldn't have to move too far either.
That's true, right down the road. All right, let me ask you this. All right, so he's got 3 years left on an original 6-year deal. It's already been restructured twice. And it's clear that Jerry Jones would prefer to keep him on as a backup, or he would take a loss because of his affinity for Romo. Romo doesn't want that. We all agree on that. So what is the best solution that benefits Tony Romo, Adam, but also does something positive for the Cowboys?
Mike, what they would have to do is release him, because by trading him, you don't get any cap relief. The acceleration, as you said, for the 2 years of bonus money gets pushed into the 17 cap. If you release him, you could use what's called the June 1st rule. You would carry his cap number until June 1st. On June 2nd, you get relief. You could put half of it this year and half of it the next year. By the way, that cap number would be $19.6 million of acceleration that hits the cap.
Right.
That way you get relief. So the bottom line is, to answer your question, you release him. Tony will want to get it done quickly. Remember, March 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern is when that deadline would be, I think, in Tony's mind, is to move on. And then the sweepstakes would start. And again, I think it would be a team that would really want to bring him in, that wants to get better, be in the playoffs, and that's what Tony needs.
Because if he does that, Tom, now he's on the open market. He can go wherever he wants.
And then where he wants to go.
Right.
From a Cowboys standpoint, I think the best scenario would be, all cap issues aside, is just to have Tony Romo as your backup. He'd be the best relief pitcher in all of the National Football League. We'll see how much Jerry Jones loves Tony Romo. I think he is destined to be released, and I think Tony will dictate where he is going to go.
And I would add one thing to that. When you're talking about backup quarterbacks, the highest paid backup quarterback other than Tony Romo last season, guess who it was? Chase Daniel, Eagles. Wow. $7 million a year. So don't forget, that would be the number for the high-end backups around the National Football League going forward.
He's worth more than $7 million. I'm just saying.
Oh, yes.
Understatement of the day.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Waddle. Thank you, Kat.